Hi everyone, how are you all doing? Hope you've had a great weekend doing whatever fun stuff you have been doing. Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Petal. As you know, we are a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, Archie, Baby Lily, Mama Doria, Poola Guy, the chickens, Mama Mia. All of us here at Sussex Squad, welcome, welcome, welcome again. Doing a late night, once again, late night recording. Um, so I'll probably post this either tonight, if I don't fall asleep, or tomorrow morning. So wherever you are, you'll get it when you wake up, I guess, or before you go to sleep. Anyways, welcome to all of our wonderful squaddies in the UK. Today, well, again, I'm recording this on Sunday night, so it's still Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day. Ooh, my little happy is kind of hidden there. But happy Mother's Day to all of our wonderful, wonderful squaddies in the UK. Hope you guys have had a wonderful Mother's Day. Lots of love with your family and friends and all of the ways that you have been celebrating Mother's Day, and I want to celebrate it with our two of our well, actually three of our favorite mamas um, for our podcast, Princess Diana, Mama Doria, and of course her flower Megan. All wonderful, wonderful moms. So happy birthday, happy heavenly birthday to Princess Diana, Mama Doria. I know it's not Mother's Day, even though it's not Mother's Day in the US, but she does have a daughter. That's, well, she has two kids with a British guy, a British redhead. Um, so I'm sure I'm not sure, but I'm assuming she celebrates Mother's Day as well. And she has 2 days to celebrate it today and then regular Mother's Day for the US. So, but again, all of our wonderful squaddies, all of our friends who are listening to this, whether you're squaddies or not, and you are celebrating Mother's Day today, I want to say thank you all for being amazing. We could not make it in this world. We couldn't be here without you, wonderful moms. So I am telling you, I bow to you because I I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. I have sisters. Well, all of my sisters and brothers have kids, but I'm telling you, I literally bow to you because you are amazing. We couldn't be who we are without you. And for that, I just say thank you, thank you, thank you. You are obviously sent from the Lord Himself to bear, you know, make us, to take care of us, to guide us, to all the ways, sacrifice for us. I mean, you lay your lives down for your family, for your kids. And I'm telling you, moms, oof. You go through the ringer for us, and I am just so grateful for every single one of you. So happy, happy, happy Mother's Day. Wishing you many, 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 many more. And hopefully today was the special day that you hoped it would be. So I just wanted to say that to our wonderful moms in our community. And we'll celebrate it again in May for the Americans' Mother's Day. So you got 2 days. But anyway, what else is going on? Well, our faves are under a tree, celebrating Mother's Day and doing whatever it is they're doing. They're very quiet. You wouldn't know it with all with the British nonsense going on as usual. So I think we're all used to the British press just making up stuff because our faves are quiet. They are not, we hear nothing from them and they are living the ultimate. We are private people. We are private citizens. We have our privacy. So therefore, we will, if we have something to tell you, we'll tell you. And if not, we're private. So I love it. I love that for them, you know. And so with that vacuum, obviously the British press just make up stuff and insert Harry and Meghan's name in there because they know it's a cheap click. It's a cheap, it's a cheap view. And so it's a quick way for them to make money. Clickbait, they got their money by inserting Harry and Meghan's name in their nonsense, as usual. And so, but before we get into that, well, actually, there's really nothing going on with Harry and Meghan. They're just being silent. But this is very interesting because you guys would remember the top picture because we talked at length about that top picture. And if you remember, that top picture is African leaders, presidents, and stuff from different African countries, including South Africa, for the Queen's funeral. Prince Charles just, I would never, ever get over this. He packed them all into buses. And, not just them, there, a bunch of different world leaders. I think even Justin Trudeau, I think Justin Trudeau was one of the ones that was in, who took the bus, and Jacinda Ardern when she was the prime minister and all of that stuff. But all of these African leaders were packed into a bus, some of them grinning for the honor of being a bus, which completely embarrassed every nation. You should see some of the tweets on Twitter. It was humiliating for people to watch their leaders, their presidents and prime ministers, herded into a bus like school children. And we know that some of the Arab leaders were like, excuse me, when you come to our country, we wouldn't even think of putting you in a bus. We treat you as your title deserves. How dare you want to put us in a bus and herd us like cattle to a funeral? But that's what he did. And some of those leaders went into the bus and are even smiling and taking photos. That is just like, so it was a big thing. And we talked about at length about that humiliation. And but what I didn't know and what I found out today was apparently there was one leader that was like, I don't travel by bus as I am if I'm a school child. You will treat me as my title deserve. And so I was just like, oh, I had no idea about this until today. And so I was looking online and I saw a bunch of different tweets about this. And this is Ethiopian president, and I don't know the correct pronunciation of the name, but it's Sally Work Zude. And I could have butchered that in a million ways, but it seemed like it's Sally Work Zude. And I'm sorry if I butchered it, but apparently the president of Ethiopia, she is the only leader that refused to go on the bus. And so it says Ethiopian President Sahle-Work Zewde refused bus ride Queen funeral, refused bus ride at the Queen, well, basically at the Queen's funeral. Hashtag boss move. And this was an article written by the Duchess of Impact. And it says the condition for African leaders to attend the Queen Elizabeth's funeral was that they be herded into a bus like school children. This was the unprecedented and unusual demand by King Charles III. The African leaders consented to this humiliation. President Sahle-Work Zewde, like US President Joe Biden, firmly refused to be humiliated into riding a bus, opting for traditional transportation befitting their position as heads of state. This was standard protocol and insisting on observing security protocols. President Saleh understood that her voice mattered. And so apparently, I looked online and I saw quite a few tweets about her refusing. Now, there's a video of her standing by the bus, and I think they looked like they were trying to, ask her to be on the bus, and she basically put her, just folded her arms and didn't get on the bus. But then the video sort of pulled back or zoomed in on other people. And then so from that video, I can't tell if she got on the bus or not. But apparently she didn't get on the bus because I saw a couple of African different countries articles saying that she didn't get on the bus, and some tweets saying that she absolutely refused to get on the bus. So it's not completely absolutely definitive, as there is no video of her, at least I haven't found yet, of her, in her car or whatever means of transportation that she decided to take. So I put this out there because if you know of any video, if you've come across any video of her either with her official car, her official Ethiopian, from the Ethiopian embassy or something, or a video where she completely, absolutely, the full video of her refusal to go on the bus, if you could send it on to me, I would love to see it. You can send it to me via email, factsandtwosets@gmail.com, or just send me a link or post a link in our comments so I could see it. But so that's why I'm putting this out there, because I'd love, love, love to see it. And of course, I'd love to share it as well. But according to the story, she is the only person, the only African leader that said no. And I just thought that was so fantastic, so amazing. And I was like, yep, that's why Ethiopia was not colonized. They were able to stand up and say no, you know? And again, I will never get over people consenting to be on that bus, like literally like school children, as you can see from that picture at the top. And I was just so inspired by her. And if we have confirmed evidence, it will, it would be a little more sound. But again, if you've come across any videos of this, I mean, other than the one that I saw, and it wasn't conclusive evidence, I would love to see it. So in the meantime, I'm assuming that it is all true. And I am assuming that she is fantastic and amazing. And kudos to her for standing up and be like, nope, you will respect me. You will put some respect on my name. So, but it is, I just thought that was a cool story. So again, any information on this, please send it along. I'd love to know. Moving on. Oh, King Charles and his coronation grift. It's so funny. One, I think it's maybe Josephine. She is the girl that I always pull in her tweets sometimes, or her receipts. But she might have been the one that coined the coronation instead of coronation. Coronation, as in Charles is trying to con his nation. But they are still on this coronation grift that or coronation that nobody asked for. And we talked a lot at length about the fact that the British people, that a lot of people can't feed their families. Yet the British government they are using taxpayer money to pay for a coronation that nobody asked for. And it's so sick. One report has it close to 100 million pounds. They don't have the exact figure. Couple of days ago, I even talked about this on a video where they are set aside £1 million to get large screen TVs around the UK, so people, it could, quote unquote, bring people together, and they can watch the coronation or coronation. £1 million. Imagine what that could have, how many mouths that could have fed, how many families that could have taken care of, but they're using that money. And so they are desperate to continue this con. They are desperate to continue where taxpayers are footing the bill. I'm like, look, if Charles want to have a coronation, Charles is a billionaire. He should fund his own coronation. Because again, this is a coronation nobody asked for. He does not need it. It is completely not necessary, as he's already king. There is no need to be doing this. And it's like, oh, it's a 3-day party, you're getting a bank holiday, whatever. It is a con to feed his ego. And so in order to get people to be excited and be spending money to further build up his ego, apparently his pals in the Sun decided, oh, there are some people that are not, they are balking at spending money. So, let's write a really nasty article about the different councils in the UK as, let's write something really nasty so that they can be spending money on this con. So the Sun, who are very close to King Charles, as we know, we've seen pictures of them, even, them bake him a birthday cake, and him meeting with the Sun editor the first day he became king. There are photos of them, and so this is their nasty headline today: Stinge Kings inside the 87 unpatriotic councils spending nothing on King's coronation includes Charles's own tight-fisted town hall. So they are angry that 87 councils in the UK, and I guess that's like districts in the UK, refuse, 87 of them refuse to spend any money on Charles's coronation, whatever it is they wanted them to do in each community to, quote unquote, bring everyone together. These councils are like, no, we're not spending money because why? There is a cost of living crisis. There are budget cuts. There are all these things. They have, children, early years programs cut, going out, things going out of business. These people have so much stuff to pay for. They don't, and on top of that, budget cuts. They don't have money to be paying for Charles's con. And so what does Charles's friend in the Sun decided? Oh, they're unpatriotic because they refuse to spend taxpayer money on a con. And so it is just so sickening that, and again, I don't know why people are not screaming to the top of their lungs about this con, really. Why they aren't protesting loudly. But I guess the 87 council, this is their form of protest. No, we're not spending any money on this coronation nobody asked for. And we remember we talked about this a few episodes back about this council that during the Jubilee, they decided to go out and purchase or make these ridiculously ugly wicked dogs or wicked corgis that resemble the Queen's corgis as, I guess, as a tribute to her. So they've spent, it says, giant wicked corgis cost a council, Broadland, this is the Broadland District Council, it cost the council $3,000 each, were sold, giant corgis, which cost the council $3,000 each, were sold off, and it was sold off at a significant loss. It has emerged. Broadland District Council spent £21,000 on 7 of the sculptures to celebrate the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. It commissioned the 6 foot or 1.8 meter long, 4 foot by or 1.2 meter high statue to form an arts trail last summer. But in a charity auction, 4 went for just under $500 each. 4 of the corgis were auctioned off at the beginning of the month, she said. They raised a total of £2,140, which had been donated to the Nelson Journey, a charity for bereaved children, which is a worthwhile charity. But my issue with this, I guess one of their council members, my issue with that is that they didn't get the full cost of them back. I think the money would have been better spent elsewhere. So this council learned their lesson. They spent £21,000 on these ugly, wicked corgis to honor the Queen and were only able to sell them for £2,140. And it's just like, so maybe these 87 councils saw what happened with the Broadland district and are like, oh no, we're out. We're not. And they're even angrier that the council, which is the in the neighborhood of High Grove, in the High Grove neighborhood where Charles spends most of the time with, I guess it's his favorite home, they are also not spending anything. They're not celebrating it. They're not spending anything. And of course, they are angry and they call them unpatriotic and tight fisted and stingy for not spending council money on a con. And so it's for me, again, good kudos to this 87 councils who decided, no, we're not going to spend our taxpayer money on this, which most people should be protesting. Anyways, so I guess, with Broadland District losing money and only raising 2,140 after spending 21,000 on these ugly corgis. That's a lesson for everybody because, with the Queen's Jubilee, it would be a bounce to the economy. It'll be great. It'll be good for the nation. The publicity is good for the nation. Yet, the only people that came out of that smiling are the royal family. The people who have to pick up their tab are not smiling. I know the Broadland District Council is not smiling that they paid £21,000 and only got back 2,140. I know they're not smiling. So, who knows? These other council are like, yeah, we're not doing that. And good for them. Good for them. Shame on King Charles and his con. And talking about con, the British press is, I just it defies words how despicable these people are, how utterly and truly, utterly despicable the men and women who write for these, who write, edit, and whatever else they do at these newspapers and these news outlets. They are despicable beyond belief. Today, out of nowhere, this guy, I didn't even get his name, who wrote this article in the Mirror about this guy, Trevor Colt, and that name should be very familiar, criticizing Harry and Meghan lost war veteran $25,000 a month on YouTube channel. And his thing is, he criticized Harry and Meghan. So, and some places, for example, the Daily Star were platforming him as this hero war vet, who just because he criticized Harry and Meghan, YouTube defunded him and he lost his $2,500 a month channel. And it's one of those things that you're like, are you serious? Because if you've looked at, say, the Butt Sentinel report about single-purpose hate channels on YouTube, Trevor Colt is one of the top ones. It's one of the most despicable, toxic, gross, violent, YouTube channel out there. And yet, because when he got his YouTube channel was, it's a channel that I'm just going to show you. I'm going to jump to this and come back. But some of the things that this guy talks about on his channel about strangling Meghan and kicking Harry to death. He even referenced the Jeremy Clarkson article that he would also, drag Meghan around. I mean, this guy even was talking about, taking out Christopher Boozy, completely deleting. I don't want to say for algorithms on YouTube, but he wanted to delete Christopher Boozy. This guy, his channel is about hating on gays, lesbians, trans. I mean, hate. There are videos of him mocking Asian people. videos of him hating on Black Lives Matter. It's just like toxic upon toxic upon toxic, this guy's channel. And you would think as a reporter, however the reporter came upon this, because this guy is always complaining that, oh, Christopher Boozy got his channel, got his channel suspended and all of that stuff. But everything on his channel basically violates all of YouTube's policies. Yet YouTube took forever to demonetize him. His channel is still there. His channel literally should be deleted. YouTube should have deleted this channel ages ago, but it's still there. They have only just demonetized the videos. And so when they posted this about that his videos, he's like, Trevor Colt was earning $2,500 a month from videos posted on YouTube. But after sharing his views about Harry and Meghan, he was told his account was being demonetized due to complaints. Due to lots of complaints, including Christopher Boozy writing, and really, because his thing was really about getting rid of these single-purpose hate accounts. And YouTube finally, after forever, demonetized them. And again, this channel should be taken out. It should be suspended forever because of the toxic thing. This man literally sit there talking about his channel. It's a hate channel. That is the place that he can spread his hate. Literally, he says it. He literally talks about deleting people. Again, he talked about, choking Meghan to death and kicking Harry. I mean, this guy is sick. He is a military vet. He is deranged. He is hateful. He is sick. And yet, this is who the Mirror was platforming today. So after tons of complaints, the Mirror finally took down their article. And then Christopher Boozy went on and did this long thread, including videos from the same guy, with evidence about his toxicity and about his hate, the mongering. And so when that Mirror posted it, of course, then the Sun picked it up with nobody did any research into who this man is, and then the Daily Star picked it up. And that's how tabloid gossip is. It's like a game of telephone. The Mirror started it, and then the Sun picked it up, and then the Daily Star picked it up, and then on and on and on. But then Christopher Boozy wrote this long thread, again, with all these videos of evidence against this crazy nutcase. And then the Sun took down their article. And then the Daily Star put theirs, and then they took it down. And again, this is the thing. It's like none of these reporters, all they had to do was Google. All they had to do was Google this guy's name. And you would see what comes up with Trevor Colt. How deranged he is, how hateful, how toxic, how racist. And, all they had to do was Google. But anything, as long as there's something that has Meghan's name attached to it, let's go with it. And for the Daily Star to be like, oh, war hero loses his $2,500 a month for criticizing Harry and Meghan Markle and Prince Harry on YouTube. Even this Black reporter from the Mirror posted this there, and of course, squaddies went after her. She is from the Mirror, and, she just basically posted there, basically promoting the article. And, she apologized and whatever. She's the one, she blocked me recently, and I blocked her back. So I think I called her out for something. But it's so despicable what these people do. And again, the reason why this became a story is because, especially again, it started in the Mirror, is because Prince Harry is suing the Mirror. And on May 9th, Prince Harry will be in court testifying about what the Mirror did to him when it was edited by Piers Morgan. So don't be surprised at anything the Mirror throws at Harry and Meghan, because they know they are going to court on May 9th, 3 days after the coronation. Harry would be sitting there testifying against them. So they are trying to throw everything at Harry. and Meghan, because they know most likely they're probably going to lose those court cases. And so it's so sick for me to see what these people do. And it's funny because Chris Boozy, after his long thread, he tagged this Morgan Johnson, who, as you can see, is the Sun reporter, and she was the Sun reporter who wrote the article for the Sun, And Christopher Boozy is like, Morgan Johnson, CL, don't give people like Trevor Colt a platform. It is dangerous. Yeah, it is very dangerous, especially that this guy is not only is he hateful, but he is threatening people. And so, she responded, "Hi, Christopher. Thanks for bringing this to our attention. The article has since been deleted." The article should not have been there in the first place. These are the people who just recently came off a huge scandal with Jeremy Clarkson. And that's the thing. They don't care. They do not care. So if people think that they were going to change or whatever, no, it's a tabloid. They're not going to change. They're going to continue doing this. Because they know by the time the truth comes out, the lie is halfway around the world, probably 3 times around the world, before it comes out that, no, this guy is sick. And they didn't put a correction. They didn't put like, oh, this has come to our attention, and really write an article speaking the truth about Trevor Colt. Oh no, they just pulled it down and that's it. Then went back to their very day without a care in the world at the fact that they were inciting violence using this guy, again, using someone who is a veteran to attack the Sussexes. And that is the sickness of the British press. It is so incredibly sick. But anyways, thank you to Chris Boozy for his long thread of receipts. There are other, I think it was Lola, her Twitter name, who was sharing, was on this and sharing all these receipts against Trevor Colt. So people would take notice. Because again, this guy is literally dangerous. He is dangerous. So they deleted it. But again, they already made their money because that lie, went around calling him like a war hero and all this nonsense. So anyways, moving on. Oh, yes. So not that this is a joke in any way. This is very bad in terms of what was done. But this is the news story about Prince William and how he deals with racism and the things he says when faced with racism, either in the royal family, be it the royal family or the FA, which he is the president of. And this was from Sky News. It says, in a letter seen by Sky News and sent to on his behalf, a private secretary, Prince William, confirmed he had contact with FA about claims. And those claims are racism in football. And this is not just, adults facing racism. These are children. And so children have had to play with racist language hurled at them. And some kids as young as 7 has faced racial attacks coming at them and also at their coaches. And so one of the people was so fed up, they wrote a letter to Prince William, because since he is the president of the FA Cup. And so he responded, and this is a little bit about it. I'm going to move my banner so that way I can read the whole thing. There you go. And all of the subscribe stuff I will talk about at the end. But Prince William, it says, Prince William deeply concerned after children racially abused during football matches. Again, children being racially abused. Says Alpha United Juniors, a team based in Bradford, first spoke out in November, revealing how for years players as young as 7 have been on the receiving end of slurs and even threats of violence from the sidelines. And so they complained about it, and nothing was done. And so they wrote a letter to Prince William, as he's the president of FA. In the letter, seen by and so William responding to that letter says, in a letter seen by Sky News and sent on behalf of a private secretary, William confirmed that he had contact with the FA about the claims. And this is what William says: racism and abuse has no place in our society, he wrote. Abhorrent behavior of this nature must stop, and all those responsible held to account. And which is fine, which is, yeah, absolutely fine. I'm not criticizing what he says, but what the thing that I'm very interested in patterns and in how the royals talk about things, because again, this letter came from his private secretary. Did he write this, or did the private secretary write this? Which, knowing William, what we know of William, that was written by his private secretary. But if you look over where by the Sky News part of this is, one of the things when they post things about William, a lot of these news channel, they would mute their replies. They notice in that circle at the bottom, that's out. They mute their replies so nobody can reply. They know what would happen if they put, um, you know, Prince William talking about racism again, and they know what would happen, so they mute their replies. Nobody can reply to them, and again, going back to Prince William's letter, which he may or may not have written, again, knowing about him as I do, that was written by his private secretary. But again, one of the things I wanted to point out is just all of their statements and the similar things they say, especially him say that he says in all of his statements about race. Racism and abuse has no place in our society. Abhorrent behavior of this nature must stop now, and all of those responsible be held accountable. So this is what he said in this article. And I decided to, because I've heard the language before. I've heard that before in other things he said as racism. Here is one when, Susan Hussey situation with Ngozi Fulani. Prince William says racism has no place in society as aides quit over palace race route. And so this is what he had said when he was in Boston and heard about Susan Hussey being racist, basically. This is what he says. Obviously, I wasn't there, but racism has no place in our society. The comments were unacceptable, and it is right that the individual has stepped aside with immediate effect. And of course, we know that that's his godmother he's talking about, who he refers to as the individual. He's talking about, I don't want any part of you. You are not my godmother in this moment. You are an individual, the individual. But this is not a place where he talks about racism has no place in society. And then, in 2021, because of the racist abuse by the adult footballers, it says racial abuse of footballers online despicable, says Prince William. Race abuse when on the pitch or in the sand or on social media is despicable, and it must stop now. The same, exactly what he said in with the young kids. It's like, it must stop now. The Duke of Cambridge, who is also the FA president, said in a statement, we all have a responsibility to create an environment where such abuse is not tolerated, and those who choose to those who choose to spread hate and division are held accountable for their actions. Again, they use the same or very similar words in their latest statement about race. And this is William speaking in Jamaica about slavery. Prince William speaks of the profound sorrow for slavery in address to Jamaican PM. He said, slavery was abhorrent and it never should have happened. And again, that word abhorrent. And so it was very interesting to me to put them all together and see, wow, he basically uses the same words and sometimes just, or something similar to the words. And it all just sounds like one of his, at least his private secretary wrote it. And they kind of just, tweak something here and tweak something here. But it all seems like the one thing that he says throughout. So, racism has no place in society. It must stop now. Those who did it must be held accountable, which is fine. I'm not saying it's not. But it's just interesting how they use the same words for every time they talk about race. It's almost like they wrote it out and then they just sort of like, you know, edit out what they needed and fit in what they what they want to use it for, and sort of, but it all sounds the same for me. It literally all just sounds the same. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting. And for those kids who are experiencing the racism, I do pray that they are able, one of the things that the FA organization that they reported it to were like, well, they need to come, they need to present their case and we need to have witnesses and all of those things. That's why the investigation hasn't started. And then so this group, they are protesting. They're like, no, 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 no. We gave you the evidence. You need to now investigate. And so there's this big going back and forth. But again, kids as young as 7 were on the receiving end of racist abuse and death threats. And so I hope that they are able to, bring the perpetrators to trial or something, and that they are able to, I don't know who it is that were heckling them, but that they are able to suspend, whether it's taking away people's lifetime or their ability to go to football games or whatever it is that needs to happen, or jail or whatever it is that needs to happen for those kids. Because, I can't imagine, being a 7-year-old and people are shouting racist things at. I mean, that is sick. That is seriously sick. So, but I just thought, this angle of things was just interesting in terms of Prince William's letters and his thing about racism. So, of course, he says those things that it must stop now, but then usually proceeds to do nothing to help this cause. I mean, racism must stop, except when you are racist towards my sister-in-law. That's what I assume. Sky News didn't want those kind of responses because Prince William is gonna have to explain. It's like, why, it must stop now for football, but you've never addressed your sister-in-law's racism, and telling the British press to stop now. So that's probably one of the things that Sky News are like, okay, I don't want to get into that. So, let's just mute our replies, as they always do. But anyways, moving on. Complete change of subject. Guys, please pray for our brothers and sisters in Southern Africa. This is, a cyclone happened last week, and this is basically Malawi. Malawi's underwater, hundreds of people killed. It's just really, it wiped out so much of life in Malawi. And my heart broke to see this man just crying. I mean, there was the rain, there was mudslide, there was all kinds of things, and lots of people are dead. And so please pray for our brothers and sisters in Malawi and other African countries who are experiencing this cyclone, this hurricane, or whatever it is that ends up landing on their doorsteps. But this is devastating. This is utter devastation for people who already don't have much. So definitely pray for them and support in any way you can. I don't have a link to a charity yet that is supporting them, but definitely do some research, and I will do as well to be able to help out in any way that I can to our brothers and sisters in Malawi and other neighboring countries who are also feeling the brunt of this. So, yeah. But, anyways, before we end, I just wanted to end on our faves again, being mommies. And, oh, the picture at the top left, there's been some debate whether that's Archie or Lilibet. I have no idea which one it is, but it's just, if you've seen the video for that, is, watching a baby hug mama and then grabs her face and kisses her is just the most precious thing in the world. I love that. And of course, at the bottom is Mama Doria and her proud flower and her grandson and Prince Harry and their dog babies. I'm like, Prince Harry just loved those dogs and just the whole family. I just love that picture so much. And of course, we have Princess Lilibet on the right with Mama Meghan. But I just think it's just so fantastic. Uh, just seeing them like this, just so happy. And I just it's funny because when I look at the picture on the bottom, just knowing what they were going through in the UK, and seeing that they were able to come through that, and now we're in the US and had a much more peaceful time with Lilibet, you know when she was pregnant with Lilibet, and there were no press and all of that nonsense happening. And so it just, it's so funny. I was listening to Spare again for like the 50 million time. And at the end, where Harry was talking about, how much more peaceful it was for them, that they didn't have to deal with the British press and public and everybody's expectations in the UK, that they could just have a peaceful time. And, their bodyguards brought them food when I guess the delivery room or wherever in the hospital, when they were there waiting to get for Lilibet to come, and what it was like to help to deliver her into the world, and all of that, and seeing her for the first time, and oh, it's just so precious, so precious. And also too, when Archie was born, couple of hours after he was born, they had to basically hide to get to the hospital. Couple of hours after he was born, they were back at Frogmore. And it's just like, oh my goodness, I can't imagine. But uh you know it's so amazing, just to see them happy and smiling. And again, Mother's Day, Mother's Day, and watching our beautiful mamas. So, anyway, once again, happy Mother's Day to all our wonderful squaddies and to our favorites here as well. So that's it. That's all I got. Again, very slow news day in terms of royal stuff. um there are other stuff happening, tabloid stuff happening, that I'm just gonna just ignore, completely ignore that nonsense. But anyways, that's it. Thank you so much to our awesome moderators, Lydia Churchnelly, Karen M. Cookies and Cream. You are awesome, especially when we have our lives. Thank you so much for always making our space safe and wonderful. Thank you to our wonderful Two Cents Crew members who support the channel on a monthly basis. Thank you all so much for your support, for your love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, there's our other Two Cents Crew members. Thank you all very, very much. Also, our Two Cents Crew members, while I'm on it, please go ahead and vote. We are going to be having our book club, or Two Cents Book Club, coming up in Saturday, April 22nd. And so we are voting for the books right now. So it is in our community page. Check out your community page. Please go ahead there and vote for the book that you would like us to read, and we can discuss in our next book club on April 22nd. So definitely jump on there, all our Two Cents Crew members. So thank you to our Gold Star supporters who support us in the chat, whether it's super chat, super stickers, super thanks, PayPal, Cash App, straight donation, however else you support the channel. Thank you all so much for your love, for your support in every way. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. And again, I'm going to put my banner. If you're new here, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Click the notification bell so you know when we drop a video, and please like and share the video. Help us continue to build our channel so that way we could get much larger, so that more people would hear about our faves. I am so excited about them. Whatever it is that they are going to be doing, it would be awesome. So thank you guys. And if you're able, definitely join the channel, join our 2 Cents crew. And again, you support the channel on a monthly basis. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this. And yeah, I will see you next time. Bye.